All right, Michaela, I'm really sorry. I don't know if the internet kind of blinked or something, but I was honestly in the middle of teaching that and my little Zoom box went away. I was like, I don't think this is recording anymore. So I'm not quite sure where it stopped. I'm going to try to just do a few more minutes because even the uploading is taking a lot longer than I remember this taking a few years ago. So hopefully you're still there. Okay. Um, let me get back. And sorry, there's not probably going to be quite the right screens in the background. Okay, good. We're on the definition one. So I was here talking about limits. Let me reshare this. Okay, I think this is right about where I was. Remember when you're going the speed limit, you can either be going like 50, 51, 52, 53. And sorry for moving my screen as I was doing that. You could be like on two sides of this yellow line. You could be on, I'm going to call it the left side right now, because that's what side it is. So this is kind of the left side. In math class, sorry, I'm writing with my mouse. In math class, we call this the negative side because, again, if this was 0, this would be the negative side. However, we could also be approaching it from the right side. We have to make sure that we check both the left side and the right side to make sure we are approaching the same number. Okay, we have to make sure we are approaching the same number. So once again, on this red line, I'm going to pick a spot way up here, way, way far away, but at 1, at 0, and it looks like I'm getting closer to -1 by coming from the right and moving that way. All right, so if I'm right there, it's -3, 0.3, and it looks like I'm 4.6, right? But as I keep on moving towards this, all right, pause here, it looks like I'm at -0.6 and I'm at 4.37. So again, notice please, Michaela, as I start moving this red dot again in a second, this number right here is going to be getting closer to -1. It's going to be like -0.7, -0.8, -0.9, and you're going to want to say -1 soon. And then this number is going to be getting closer to what number? Right now it's at 4.3. Oh, now it's at 4.2. What am I getting closer and closer and closer to at, oh, as I get to that dot where it says undefined, right? So start over here again, scroll this way, scroll this way, scroll this way a little bit. It looks like I am also getting closer to 4. Okay, I apologize. I think I was writing in yellow and that's right when it went away. So this number on this side was 4. We just figured out this number was 4. Technically, in order to have a limit, that is an awful circle. I apologize. These two numbers right here have to be the same. If those two numbers are not the same, then we would not have a limit here, okay? And because of the craziness of everything, because the video did not work quite right, I want to kind of stop here. I think it's only going to be between the two. I think it's going to be about 25 to 30 minutes. And I know our period is a little bit longer than that. Yesterday you worked on your worksheet and kind of like I asked you to, you came back in the room, put it there. Today, when you are done watching this video, because it might be, even though this video, it looks like it's going to end up being about 30 minutes, again, 20 to 25, reconnect, pausing, different things. You might finish, you might not. I'm going to write something on the board behind me and hopefully it focuses again. So once again, I'm going to stop sharing my screen so that it's a little bit bigger again. And behind me here on the board, I'm going to actually kind of write, not kind of, I'm going to write how we write limits. So limits kind of looks like logs. You write LIM, but then underneath, you write your little X with an arrow there. Now on the example we were just doing, and I can click back to that in just a minute, because that vertical yellow line I drew was at -1, the X we were approaching was -1. The function was in Desmos, but for right now, I'm just going to call it f of x. So Michaela, do you remember when we were looking at that yellow line? What number was I getting close to on the left side? What number was I getting close to on the right side? Both of those numbers were 4. So since both of those numbers were 4, the limit of the function we were looking at as x was approaching the number -1 equals 4. So here's the weird thing. Even though when I'm looking at this problem right here that I'm about to share, again with you. When I'm looking at this equation right here, so again, on the equation behind me where that f of x is, sometimes we write f of x. If I'm just today, I wrote that. Sometimes we'll write that function. But as I'm getting close to this number right here, even though when I click on it, it's actually an invisible unknown equate number, because when I get, there we go, when I get right on there, it says undefined. The actual value of f of x is undefined. However, the limit of f of x, as I'm getting close to -1, is 4. And that's where limits can be very confusing, because you cannot plug in -1 and get an answer. Your graph right here tells you, I cannot plug in -1. If we went over here and plugged in -1, which we're going to talk about hopefully in another video I make for you, whether that's tomorrow or overnight or something like that, there is no value when we plug that in that it can be. However, we do have a limit. Okay, so here's the other thing. I usually have, again, a one-on-one talk with the kids. Calculus is very handleable. Like, you can handle it. That's a weird way I said it, sorry. You can handle calculus. I know you can. But there's days where stuff that I give you, your brain just hurts. And I sometimes, and this is why I wanted the video to be a little bit longer to see how much we got through and how long it took you. But there's going to be days where I say stuff and you just like, again, when people were in class, I was like, guys, I need a break. I need to re-say what I'm saying. I need to do some other stuff. So that's going to be really hard for us to communicate a little bit if all I ever do is videos, which is why it's not what I'm always going to do. But that's where we're going to start right now. Sorry, I'm going to be bigger again so you can see me a little bit better. So again, be communicating with me. Try to let me know how things are going. Again, there's days where you just don't understand what's going on. And there's somebody coming in the room now, so I will let you go.